He's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin right now. Jeffrey Joerres, he's the chairman and CEO of Manpower Incorporated. Jeff, thanks for being with us. What are you thinking about these numbers, 39,000 new jobs created, and what's the environment like out there?
Well, I mean, first of all, you want to look at that total number, and no doubt I think the consensus numbers were for private sector jobs were kind of right around that 150 mark. So I think the market's going to look at this and say, not exactly what I was looking for. And, we kind of have a little different insight on that when we look at this. No doubt what we're seeing is tepid job growth, and that was mentioned before. But what we're not seeing yet is that breakthrough demand that's going to require hiring.
Why do you think the discrepancy, Jeffrey, between what they thought was going to happen, this rosier outlook, and what actually happened, especially in the private sector?
Well, again, it's so hard. When you look at how much data is collected and how it's collected, and you look at the revisions, as you talked about, you do see some changes. What I would sense is that we do have seasonal hiring patterns. November and December are the ones that you would see some lower seasonal hiring. But normally during a little bit of a pickup on the recovery, you kind of blow through those seasonal things and you pick up on the cycle side. What we're seeing and we're hearing from our clients is we're feeling demand. We're still going to be cautious. We don't want to hire. Our company is in some ways benefiting. I haven't had a chance to look at the numbers under business services and temporary staff, but we've been running about 40 to 50,000 per month increase. So what's happening is companies are remaining flexible because they're not sure what's happening with taxes, healthcare, and overall demand for their products and services.
What about the people out there, Jeffrey, who have a job right now, maybe are not satisfied in that job, want to be moving up? There has been some movement, right, in people being able to get some advantage in the workplace right now because their bosses might not necessarily be hiring from outside, but there might be some opportunities inside to move up and take on new responsibilities.
Well, there's a couple things. One, companies are looking very specifically for talent. They want great productivity. They want great people, so they're being very selective, and that's what's slowing the market down. Now, when you're on an internal market and you're known for what you're doing, you have some great opportunities. But what I must say is, we did a survey under one of our companies, Right Management. 60% of all people said when things get better, they're going to be looking for another job because companies are really putting a lot of pressure on what, kind of that more with less, and that's creating some real tension within the workplace.
Is there an inherent discrimination against the long-term unemployed? And if there is, how do those people get over the hump and get back in the workforce?
Right. I think that what we are is probably at one of the more dangerous points, and I've had a chance to talk about this at the Joint Economic Committee and other things about structural long-term unemployment is something that we have to be concerned with. We've always thought of 5%. We got a little giddy when it was at 4%. I think we're going to have a hard time for several years getting below 7%. And what's happening is one, companies are more selective, but two, as skills change so quickly, the antiquation of skills catch up to people. So between government and businesses, we have to train more because when you look at a resume, someone's been out of work for 12 months, your sense of their skills being up to the level you want is suspect, and they move on to the next one, and it's a very dangerous situation.
How much do you think this tax cut debate that's going on right now in the Congress affects hiring, especially from small businesses?
Oh, no doubt it affects it. I mean, is it on the margin or is it deep? I think what mostly affects it is there's a whole plethora of confusion. So it's not one element. The one element makes a difference. To a small business owner, their ability to have visibility and hire because there's a commitment there is extremely important. There's a lot of things, but I would say at the end of the day, until we get that consumer really kicking in, and some of this kind of confusion out of the way, we're not going to see the kind of employment that's required to really keep this moving at the GDP growth that we would expect as a country like ours.